we talking about the other world, the WasmEdge and the targeting, say GPUs and machine learning frameworks and all that. So that's if you follow us on Twitter, if you follow WasmEdge on Twitter, you know that's this is one of the major focus that we have. So at least at this moment. So so we actually have several internship positions that's coming up around this area in our in the WasmEdge community. So I asked Hydai to talk about those.
Sure. So let me share my screen now. Issues. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? It should be our GitHub issues. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So actually, because our recent focus is to push more LLM backend and machine learning or AI backend into the WASI neural network proposal. So we provide full full projects in this period of the LFX mentorship. And actually, it's pretty interesting because if you check all of these full projects, you will find out that the MLX is provided by Apple. Just the name, this extension for transformer is provided by Intel, and this is the author of the Lambda CPP to create a whisper model, which is original provided by the OpenAI and also burned as a ROS framework of the machine learning related framework. So to integrate all of these, that's our major purpose in this period. So let's get into each one and to talk about why we choose it and why it's important that we help Elementy to integrate and um, to execute the LLM on it. So first is MLX. And actually, I believe most of the people to run an local LLM on their devices is using Mac OS. The reason is that I believe not everyone can afford a 100 or Edge 100 card from NVIDIA because it's extremely expensive, right? And you must have a blend server or something like that to install the GPU card and run a very large model. However, if you buy an Mac Pro, you can have a super large VRAM on it to load those big model and run it on your own cloud. So that's why we hope we can integrate the MLX, and for those who deploy their self LLM service on Mac, especially if they are interested to deploy the 70B or more, large model on it, they will choose MLX and Mac Pro as their, first priority. So that's why we use it. And to apply this, I believe you must have the environment to install the MLX. For example, you must have an environment wherever you get the environment. For example, you have MacBook or you rent the AWS server with the Mac Mini M1, or you use GitHub code space. I believe now the GitHub provide the Mac instance now. So you must have the environment to at least build and test the MLX backend. And then you have to know what's the neural network spec, because all you need to do is to wrap the backend into a very limited and specific WAS neural anchor function and resource type. And also, we maintain a fork of the WAS neural network is because that when you use LLM, you will need some special error handling and some cancel function because the execution is pretty long. You may not want the model to, execute the full process and without any interrupt. So we modify a little bit spec and to do an extension. Actually, I just took this change in the what's the neural network uh, meeting yesterday. So if you're interested, you can go to the what's the neural network proposal and to check what's the difference between our extension and the original one. And we are talking about how to push these extensions into this official proposal now. So that's our first framework to do. And we have the Intel extension for transformers. The reason is that I believe most of the people, if you are not buying an Mac, you are using any PC, the most easy thing you can get is the Intel CPU. Yeah, so we hope that more people can use the Intel extension for transformers to accelerate the inference on the Intel CPU machine. Actually, this request is from lots of the community members because they said, "Hey man, you said you have used CUDA, so I have got lots of the NVIDIA machine, which is super expensive. However, if we can take the same cost on AWS, we can rent hundreds or thousands of the CPU machine to do the inference. So this is why they want to move their focus from the GPU into CPU. That's why we choose the Intel. So if you are using this, I believe to have an Intel machine is a basic requirement because you must have to test it. But I think it's super easy to get it. Yeah. So this two will require a hardware limited than the other proposal because the other project do not have such requirement. For example, the Whisper.cpp is pretty cross-platform. You can build it on Windows and Linux and Mac with any architecture. I believe the ARM64, the the AMD64 are all supported. Yeah, and this framework is a very interesting thing. Is that uh, actually I use the LLM to help me to learning Japanese, and a key component is that I hope that when I talk about a language, the LLM can help me to translate it into text. So the Whisper is a model to convert your voice into text. That's why we want to, have it because we believe this is, important things in the nowadays application. And I believe in next mentorship, we may have a text to voice LLM inference. Yeah, so that's our future world. And the last one is that all you can see here, the MLX, the Intel, the Whisper are all written in C++. And we know a lot of people from our community is using Rust. So that's why we choose Urban.is because we believe Rust is also a very important language, and we hope to increase our community member and reach more people who use this language. That's why we choose Burn.is. And another thing is that just like Bailey's the slide, and they talk about the WasmEdge GPU. Actually, we choose Burn.is is because that he has the native web GPU support. I believe is super grateful people, so they don't worry about I have an AMD GPU, I have a NVIDIA GPU, and I have an Intel GPU. How could I use all of them? It's a big issue if you want to handle all of this dependency. So that's why we choose the Burn.is. So, because this is pretty new, we try to know. So, when you choose this proposal, this project, um, you may encounter some, uh, unknown Rust relative plugin issue because we only have one Rust plugin. It's called the Rust TLS library. That's all we did before. However, we have several sets of the C++ version. So that's why if you choose this one, and we believe you will have more communication with us because we may have to work together to figure out how to make this integration more seamlessly. Yeah. So that's all I have of these full projects. And please make sure if you want to apply it, you have to finish the pretest. And the pretest is pretty easy. Is that we want you to prove that you can have the environment to build an execution which framework you want to uh, implement in this mentorship. Yeah, so this is the minimum requirement that the project does. Yeah, and please check the timeline. I believe it still have some time for you guys to support to submit the application, and we we will review your pretest. We at sorry, I forgot the date, but we have announced it before. So please check all of the deadline. If you submission is expired, then we cannot review it after the deadline. Yeah, so that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Hydai. Yeah, that's by the way, I would also add that's the web GPU stuff is actually a lot of several container environment are considering supporting the GPU architecture through the web GPU spec, because let's say Docker, in the past, if you want to have access to the GPU, you have a special Docker shim, and that Docker shim would conflict with, say, the Muse shim or the WasmEdge shim, right? Because you can only install one shim. So, that's sort of was a problem that we had in the past. So, but if there's a web GPU interface, there would be, it's more standard or abstract way to access the hardware through containers. So we thought that was very interesting because that's complementary to what we have been doing at WASM level as well. So so if you know someone who's interested in this kind of thing, that's we'd love to have them apply. By the way, all those are have stipends as well, so they are paid internships, and